I did want to bring something completely different to close out the showcase. And what you're about to hear is completely different. It is just out of the box, entirely out of the box. So consider the tree. And the tree has many uses, obviously. One of its greatest strengths is that it has strength and tensility and can be used as a substitute in construction, particularly if you were to architect it into a design, wrapping it around with intellectual property that actually specifically makes parts for construction. Whole Trees and Amelia Swan.
Thank you, Rohit. Hi, my name's Amelia. Whole Trees is the only company that structurally engineers the tree. We enable the scaling of an abundant structural material, trees, into commercial construction for the first time in history. Our business model is twofold. First, we sell columns, beams, and patented spanning trusses into steel markets nationally, like the one you see here. To clarify, we make money selling products to building professionals. However, it's the intellectual property that we're developing in partnership with the USDA SBIR grant program that lowers our COGS each year and increases our gross margins and will enable our acquirer to scale the use of a new structural material internationally. Imagine you're a forest owner, US government, warehouser, or an individual with vast acreages. You need to pay a forest contractor every 10 years to remove the small diameter or the skinny trees from between the future millable trees. You also need to remove diseased trees if you're a municipality. That means cash outlays for 40 to 80 years before you get a full ROI on your forest asset. If you don't have the cash, undermanaged forest and an underperforming asset class. That's a problem. New lens, imagine you're a grocery chain owner and you're only 8th in the regional market penetration. This makes expanding into new markets very difficult. You want a cost-effective way to build out new buildings that differentiate your brand and attract higher traffic, which means higher gross margins. What if the forest products industry had the logistics tools and the building products that allow us to source small trees from forest owners and then sell them at a premium price to brand-hungry construction owners? There is a tremendous structural resource if engineering, grading, and manufacturing can be scaled for round natural timber. And here's how Whole Trees does it and did it for our grocery brand, you know, the one I mentioned, lower market penetration. So we structurally engineer the tree, which means we prefabricate columns, beams, and trusses and ship them nationally in a way that the industry can accept. Next, we develop intellectual property and software. The proprietary nature of the software is the comprehensive package of engineering data embedded within. Any structural material, steel, concrete, or engineered wood, requires a comprehensive package of data before it can be accepted by the industry and scaled. This is material properties, engineering values. These get correlated into structural models and margins of safety. Whole Trees is developing and protecting the engineering book on round timber and embedding it within a software and logistics system that allows this material to go from supply chain through manufacturing into a new structural market. Finally, we're proving market acceptance nationally for our patented products and for our internationally known brand. So why build with trees? First, they're strong, abundant, renewable, and cheap. They're 50% stronger than milled lumber and as strong as steel in tension. This is because of the unique nature of the fibers on the outer fibers of the tree that were engineered to hold up heavy loads and resist wind loads. Think about it. They were the first skyscrapers, 200 million years of structural engineering. They also provide more LEED credits when you're building for green construction, as well as excellent rural economic opportunities. Our intellectual property is defined as the tools and technologies to scale the use of trees in construction. We define it in 2 categories. The first are our product patents. Our steel connections intersect that unique bunch of fibers I mentioned and allow us to span more space and hold up heavier loads than this natural material has ever been engineered to do in history. Next, we have software-based sourcing and grading tools. We are launching internally the use of a software platform that over the next 3 years will be available to the industry. It assists in automating selection criteria at the landing, moving material through manufacturing, and perhaps most exciting, it provides a web-based branded platform for building professionals. We can offer 3D models for BIM modeling as well as build product offerings that push our market demands and enable a global reach. We define our total addressable market for our building products as the low-rise earliest adopters in the green structural systems market. We need to capture less than 2% of this $2 billion market segment in order to have a robust exit in 2021. We think that that is reasonable. We launched our commercial structural product in late 2013, and we've had excellent traction to date. $2.5 million of structural product specified into buildings in 2015-2016, $1.2 million in gross revenues in 2015, growing to a projected $2.5 in 2016. These come with major brands and institutions, and that's really important in our industry. It's a conservative, show-me industry, and they need to believe the legitimacy of something as wild as putting trees into buildings. So we price our product at a premium because we can. We're able to use the sustainability, differentiation, and beauty of wood that our green market wants to charge 25% to 10x higher than what a steel structural system would require. As we scale, our COGS will reach below the price of steel, and as our acquirer takes over, they can meet and beat the cost of steel internationally. I'm going to tell you about my team if you want to hear about it later. So, we are raising a Series A to bring us to profitability by 2018. As I mentioned, we are post-revenue, and we will be post-profit as we scale our products nationally and begin to prepare our software system and logistics tools for licensing. We've raised the bulk of our Series A from women, which allows us to maintain WB certifiability in our industry, a major market driver. We're entering due diligence with a lead investor group of women nationally and are looking for follow-on investors. Our acquirer will own the intellectual property to scale the use of a new structural material internationally. And at that, I'll leave it for questions, and thank you.
Okay, I just want to remind everybody that following this is Jim Budzinski's closing keynote. So let's go to questions for this out-of-the-box end of the showcase presentation.
We're putting the trees back in the box.
Thank you so much. Yeah, well, that's true. That's
Yeah.
exactly right. Yeah. Thank you. Yes. Anybody? Back there.
Fire safety, how is it?
Round timber performs far better than steel and milled lumber in fire. Steel, as you probably know, melts all at once when it reaches a certain temperature, which makes it a very dangerous material to be within in a fire. Round timber, because of its low surface to volume ratio, chars instead of burning, which leaves the structural integrity of the material standing for 1 to 3 hour fire ratings. Our fire marshals are often the first ones to convince a building code professional that we're the answer for a building.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you very much. I appreciate
Good for you,
that.
Good for you.
All right, so we have a strong group that captures the requirements within management to scale somewhat of a disruptive visionary goal, and we're also working with the nation's best scientific advisors in our industry. To start with, my co-founder is an architect who's been building with round timber since 1991. He was starting to get regional and national attention for this material when we founded Whole Trees. We've used USDA SBIR grants to then bring ourselves to the point where we could bring in a common unit round of investment and have brought in market development VP who's moved to Wisconsin from California, leaving James Hardie Building Products Company, interested in scaling our business with us. We also, our finance guy comes from the software and tech industry, and we brought him on in part to think through how we will license the software platform we're developing right now. Our engineers at the Forest Products Laboratory are the top foremost leaders in wooden connections as well as in grading systems for optimized wood use. And finally, our software development team are experts in data mining of natural resources for optimized profits and yields. They began doing that with soil and were the natural partners to help us work on data mining the tree. Thanks for asking.
Thank you. Yes, one last question.
Are you doing anything to engineer the trees to be suitable for this use, or are you just identifying which trees grow in the pattern that makes it useful?
We are not imagine a vast abundant waste stream. We are assisting forest contractors and forest owners in diverting a vast portion of it towards manufacturing by giving them the tools that can analyze its structural capacity. We're not engineering trees yet. We were talking to partners that can, and you can grow trees in certain ways to make them stronger, but the waste stream of small diameter timber is so abundant internationally that the need to create new trees for this market is very far down the line. What the industry needs are grading tools that quickly capture data about a tree, material properties, dimensions, geometries, and says, that tree can hold up this much, needs to go there, fit into that truss, be that column, and move through to market as fast as possible. We're just focusing on an existing byproduct of forest management.
Thank you, Amelia. Appreciate it.
Thanks.